Today, Iran woke up with a new supreme leader. His name is Mojtaba Khamenei, the 56-year-old son of the man Israel killed on day one of this war. The same US and Israeli strikes that killed his father on February 28th also killed his wife, his mother, and his son. He lost most of his family in a single night. And today, he was handed control of the entire Iranian state, its military, its nuclear program, its intelligence services, everything, while the bombs are still falling on his country. Here is what makes this significant. Trump had publicly said Mojtaba would be an unacceptable choice, and that whoever Iran picks without US approval is not going to last long.
Trump also told ABC News that the new leader needs approval from his administration, warning that if he doesn't, quote, he's not going to last long. All right.
Israeli military had also warned it would target whoever was chosen. US and Israeli bombs hit the building where the Assembly of Experts was meeting in Qom mid-session, before the vote count was even finished. Iran held the election anyway and chose him anyway. Mojtaba is not a moderate. He has never given a public speech. Most Iranians have never even heard his voice. For decades, he operated quietly inside his father's office, building deep ties with the military force. One Iranian cleric at the election literally said the candidate was chosen because he should be hated by the enemy. That is who is now running Iran. And within hours of being named supreme leader, Iran's armed forces pledged full allegiance to him, and the missiles kept flying. While everyone was focused on who Iran would choose as its new leader, Israel was busy turning Tehran's sky orange. On Saturday night, while Tehran residents were asleep, Israel struck 4 major oil storage facilities across the city and the neighboring Alborz province simultaneously. The Agdasia oil warehouse in northeast Tehran, the Tehran refinery in the south, the Sharan oil depot in the west, where oil leaked directly into the surrounding streets, and a 4th depot in the city of Karaj, all hit in the same night. The fires were visible from miles away. Massive fireballs lit up the Tehran skyline in every direction. This is the first time in this entire conflict that the US and Israel have directly targeted Iran's oil infrastructure, and it came just one day after Israel struck Iran's largest airport, Imam Khomeini International Airport in Tehran. Israel said the airport was being used to transfer weapons to proxy groups across the region. The strike shut down one of the busiest airports in the Middle East completely. Flights were grounded, the runway was damaged, and images showed thick smoke rising from the terminals. Then, the very next night, Israel escalated further and hit 4 major oil storage facilities. By Sunday morning, a dark, toxic cloud had settled over a city of nearly 10 million people. Residents woke up to black raindrops hitting their windows, rain literally contaminated with burning oil falling from the sky. A 44-year-old engineer in Tehran described watching the rain.
Since the early morning hours, I want to show you something because the rain that's coming down seems to be saturated or filled with oil. You can see it's completely black. Everything on the ground is black as well. And if you look over here at this wall, you can see that the rainwater coming down here is also black. This comes after a night of really heavy bombardment here in the Iranian capital that also saw thick plumes of smoke over the city after those oil installations were bombarded. And there were massive fires also, especially in the south of the city. And again, this morning you can see that the entire city is filled with these huge black clouds that cover almost everything.
But here is where it gets interesting. The US was not happy about these strikes. According to a US official, Israel went far beyond what Washington expected when it was notified in advance. The US reaction internally was described simply as, "What the f***?" The concern from the American side is that hitting civilian infrastructure like fuel depots rallies ordinary Iranians behind the regime. the opposite of what the US wants. Iran's parliament speaker responded by warning that if attacks on Iran's oil infrastructure continue, Iran will retaliate by hitting oil infrastructure across the entire Gulf region, and that oil prices could reach $200 a barrel. The world is already watching oil prices cross $100 a barrel for the first time in years. Iran is threatening to double it.
U.S. oil hitting $100 for the first time since July of 2022. Obviously, that is going to have major implications, not just for the world, but certainly people, Americans, right here at home.
What's worse is that some Gulf countries are already warning that if this war continues, oil supplies could completely stop. And if that happens, forget prices doubling, they could skyrocket.
He has warned that the US-Israeli war on Iran will force the Gulf to stop energy exports within weeks. Let me just say that line again. Will force the Gulf, think of all the countries there that export all those key barrels, to stop energy exports within weeks.
Some experts were saying that once the US and Israel take control of Iran's oil fields, the same thing that happened with Venezuela, they could flood the market and bring oil prices back down. The problem is, this war is taking much longer than anyone in Washington or Tel Aviv expected. When Israel killed Khamenei on day one, the thinking was straightforward. Remove the leader and the regime falls apart. That is not what happened. Iran fired back within hours, kept firing for 10 days straight, hit US bases across the region, and today elected a new supreme leader while bombs were still falling on their own capital. The regime did not collapse. It barely flinched. Trump said publicly this would be over in a couple of weeks. Then Pete Hegseth came out and revised that to 8 weeks.
And that's why we don't talk about, you can say 4 weeks, but it could be 6, it could be 8, it could be 3.
And looking at how things are actually going on the ground, even 8 weeks is starting to look like an underestimate. And here's the part that should concern the US and Israel the most. Iranian officials have been saying publicly that everything fired so far has been old missiles, stuff they were planning to get rid of anyway. Their most advanced missile, the Fatah 2, travels at Mach 15, changes direction mid-flight, and no defense system the US or Israel currently has in the region can reliably stop it. That missile has not been used yet. The US and Israel have already burned through billions of dollars of interceptors shooting down Iran's old stock. If Iran starts using its real weapons at a point when US and Israeli defenses are already running low, that is not just a bigger problem. That is a whole different war. Both sides have zero interest in talking right now, and Trump is demanding full, unconditional surrender. And US is doing this war alone. Spain refused to join and went further. It denied the US access to its military bases completely, meaning American planes cannot even use Spanish territory to launch attacks. Turkey said no. Several Arab countries that the US expected to quietly cooperate have stayed out entirely. The coalition the US was counting on is not materializing. The last time the US got into a long war in this region, it stayed in Afghanistan for 20 years. Iran is a much bigger country with a much more capable military and a government that has been preparing for this exact scenario for decades. So if you want to be the first to get updates on this war as it develops, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Things are moving fast, and we are covering every major development as it happens.